Well, hello, this is Yvonne Teoh Bource from Connect the Soul with Your Soul Wisdom. And I have a question for you today. How much are you consciously putting intention behind your everyday actions? You know, it's what we call here silly season in Australia. I don't know where you're at, where you're watching, but around Christmas time, people go a bit crazy. It's like Christmas is the end of the world, you know. It's only one day in the year, but we go pretty crazy. Everybody's rushing, got to do this, got to do that, do something else. And, you know, I find it interesting to watch people do that. So the reason for this conversation is because I went and sat down to have a coffee with myself, which I often do in this cafe, and this lady came and sat next to me in the next table, and she sort of collapsed on a chair with a great sigh, and she said, "Oh my God, I can't wait for Christmas to be over." And I was most bemused. I love Christmas. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to bring the whole family together. We have amazing fun. We have a huge food fest. We have lots of gift giving. We have all of the goody things that go with Christmas as far as I'm concerned. So I love going out and looking for that special gift for that special person. And I do it with intent. So I said to this lady, why? I love Christmas. And she goes, "Oh, look, you have to go. I have such a big family and I have to go and give so many presents." And I said, "No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. But why don't you choose to do it and you'll feel much better about it?" And she kind of looked at me, very puzzled. I smiled and I said, "You know, I just love going out there and having someone in mind and picking something special for it." Anyway, that was the end of that conversation. I think it went over her head. But it made me think, how much do we do during the everyday that we don't have an intention behind, a conscious intention behind? Do you know, we get up and we're so robotic, so automatic, so habitual. And I really would like you to address that and have a look at it and go, how much of your life are you doing intentionally? Are you living intentionally? Do you think about the fact that your teeth will feel so much better when you pick up that toothbrush in the morning? Or do you just, or is your mind somewhere else while you, right? Because your mother taught you to. How much do you focus on having your shower? In my book, I actually talk about, you know, making your shower purposeful. And for me, every drop of water on my body is filled with love, health, and abundance. I impregnate the water with that because I know water has memory. So I'm washing in health, I'm washing in abundance and in love, and I enjoy, and it's wonderful. And my body's getting clean as a bonus. So it is having this conscious intent behind things that I wanted to address today. I'm going to ask you, do you think about why you're doing things? And why is that so important? Well, for me, the way that I see it is you're either a victim of your life. In other words, you just get up and you live life because life happens to be there. And you spend most of your day engaged in the shoulds. You know, according to what other people expect of you, according to what, you know, you're supposed to be doing, etc., etc. Or you become an active participant in your life where you choose. So you go to work. How many of you, I was on the train again the other day. You know, I'm not really the greatest fan of train travel on a daily basis in the suburbs. It's just, the energy is so fragmented that I have to contain myself energetically. But it is interesting to observe people and to feel their energy and where they're at and how robotic they are, how non-present people are, and how little intention is behind everything they do. And so this is such a habit that we've gotten into. So I really want to address that with you today, and I want you to take a good look at your life and go, where am I an active participant, a conscious, intentional active participant? And where am I just going through the motions? I must say that I have trained myself to be an active participant. There is very little in my life that I do or don't do without having an intention. You know, I've talked to you before about the fact that I have an intention book. So every morning, this is my intention book, and every morning I will write down several intentions for my day. So here, this was in, August, I think. I said to be happy and grateful. I intended that to be actively an intention. To be of service. Well, you know, that's my intention every day. To surrender to the highest version of myself. So I do that consciously, right? So let's have a look what I wrote for maybe something a little recent. Okay, so a few days ago I wrote, my intention for the day was to have a great day, to be kind and to be open to receive. You know, it's a time of giving, but at the same time we need to learn to receive. So that's an important one, yes? And if I'm asking for abundance, then I must be open to receive it, yes? So that is my conscious intention. Another day was to have a great day and to live it with ease and grace. So it's a conscious connection to the day. Now, and I don't do that just for the day. I do that with intent. I do everything consciously with intent. Now that sometimes slows things down a bit because you think about what you're about to do. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Why are you getting up in the morning? Well, you might say, well, because it's daytime and I've got to go to work. No, you don't. You see, when you actually do things with intent, with conscious intent, the thing you take out of your life is the have-tos. Think about it. You think about I choose to or I have to, and feel the energies of that. What's the different energy? Well, I'd rather choose to than have to, because have to feels heavy, it feels like a burden, and I have no choice. And choose to, I have every choice in the world, and I can say yes or no to things, and it's okay. Oh, I can hear you say, yes, but you have to do this and you have... No, you don't have to do anything. Always look at the outcome and go, is the outcome that I'm working towards, is it something I actually want in my life? And if it is what I want in my life, then I'm going to do it with joy and intent for ease and grace. Isn't that a much better way of looking at things than to say, well, I have to go and buy presents and I have to go and I, you know, yesterday I dressed my Christmas tree. I didn't have to do that. In fact, last week when I was having all my people over for the end of year and the Christmas do, you know, in the past I have actually had the Christmas tree up before then. But I had so much on my plate at the time that I decided no. If I was going to push myself to do the Christmas tree, I wouldn't do it. I would feel that I was doing it not with a conscious intent of my highest good, because I had enough to do already, so I didn't do it. But yesterday I had a day where I could, you know, really focus on putting this Christmas tree up, and I enjoyed every second of it. But if I'd done it the other day, I wouldn't have enjoyed it, and the tree probably wouldn't have looked as good as it does now. So again, the outcome is very different when you have a conscious, focused intent. Think about it. What is your intent for going to work? What is your intent for going to bed? What is your intent for getting up? What is your intent for the simplest little things? What is your intent for doing the washing? Oh, you know how often I hear people say, oh, I've got to do the washing. No, you don't. Do you like clean clothes? Yes. Then do the washing with joy and think about the wonderful clean clothes that you can wear afterwards. And be grateful for your washing machine. Or be grateful for wherever you are, if you don't have one of those, for the water that's available to wash your clothes in and the soap that's available. There is so much to be grateful for. The littlest things. Do you know, I changed my plant because I brought out my good old faithful, peace lily, because it's in flower. And so I consciously brought it in because I wanted to celebrate that. When you are present, and we talk a lot about that, and you have conscious intent behind every action, why are you washing the dishes? Well, you can give me lots of reasons, but the fact is you don't like to eat of dirty dishes. So do it with joy, that the fact is that when you've washed them, you've got a clean dish to eat of next time. Every action you take, when you stop and you create a conscious intent for that action, I can promise you that your whole experience will change. Your experience will be so much more effective and you will feel connected. Having intention connects you to life itself. Going through the motions is like a surface dweller. You absolutely have no connection. And at the end of it, you go, oh, I'm so tired. But when you are, you are consciously engaged with intention, life is amazing. It really is. So, examine your life. And I really want you to know that when you do things with intention, no matter how small or how big, when you put conscious intent before the action, your experience will accelerate into a much higher vibration. Because if you are doing things from a have to or from an automatic, not even consciously being there place, the energy vibrational frequency is lower. Therefore, the experience of the outcome of that action has to be lower. But when you stop and you have a conscious connection to your action through intention, the instant you do that, the energy vibrational frequency rises and your experience expands. So why wouldn't you do it? Probably because you haven't thought about it before. So, in my book, and I've mentioned that to you before, The Secret to Life, which is available on my website, or you can order it in a bookshop if you so desire. I wrote the daily declarations for having a more loving world. Now, these daily declarations are available on audio on my website, which the link is below. But I wrote these because I choose to live with intention. So they go like, every day. Today is the first day of my life. And I will live it with honor, love, and joy. That's what it says here. It's not, I'm hoping that it will be like that. No, it's my choice. It's my intention. I'm engaged with it. Today, I will focus all my energy on that which I love in life. That is life itself. Knowing that whatever I pay attention to, I will get more of. So therefore, I also am very vigilant about where I put my attention. I don't put any attention on the media. I don't listen to the news. I don't read the newspapers because I don't want to live in that lower vibrational frequency. I don't. That is my conscious choice, because my conscious intention is to live at a higher vibrational frequency of love, joy, compassion, gratitude, so that as electromagnetic being, I will experience that in life. Well, isn't that a pretty good reason to have a conscious intent behind all of your action? I absolutely believe that. So the silly season, rushing about. Well, I have to say that I have no rushing to do. I'm a fairly organized creature, because I believe that when I'm in chaos, then I can't have conscious intent. It's like I'm being dragged along by life, which I don't do. So I'm pretty organized, and things are. I work with lists. I can't tell you. I've got a folder with lists of all the people that I create gifts for. Either I make them, I buy them, or I cook them, and they're all there. And then I tick them as I do them, and it's all wonderful. And then I have one day of baking, and one day of wrapping presents, and one day of. I think I'm going to have a few days of celebration this year. But it's all done with a conscious intent. And I do it with joy, because that is my conscious intent. I have that intention of enjoying every moment of this season, every moment of every day of my life. And that does not depend on what's going on outside of my life. Of course, there are moments of sadness, and there are moments of challenge, and there are moments of all of those things. But that doesn't take away from my intentions or my focus on having a joyful, beautiful life. Because no matter what the outside situation, I will go to bed every night with gratitude. I will get up every morning with gratitude, and I will live each moment through the day with appreciation and gratitude. No matter what the experience, there is always something to be thankful for. There's always something to look at that is magnificently beautiful, that is unusual, that is fantastic. Life offers us so many gifts, but we don't see them because we're running around like chooks without heads. They do run around while you're without a head. We won't go there. But is that how you live your life? Like you're being dragged along? Yesterday I was in a supermarket, and there was a beautiful lady with 3 children, completely out of control. They were screaming and yelling at each other, and they were pushing and shoving, and it isn't the way that I prefer to be in the company of children. And this beautiful mother, she was so frazzled in the end that she was screaming at them, and they paid absolutely no attention. And I was thinking to myself, how could she make that different for herself? And I watched her, and I noticed that part of her was just disengaging with her children, and that was her coping mechanism. And of course, because she was disengaged, the children were getting worse. However, I really felt if only she could just stop everything and give a focused intent on why she was there. Why did she have the 3 children there in the first place? I've got 3 children. Thank heavens they're adults now. but I would never take them to the supermarket altogether. Never. And I would never, ever, ever take any of them if they were tired. I would just have to do things when it was suitable for all of us to have a joyful experience. And I always put my intention into making everything we did a joyful experience. And the minute that it stopped being joyful, I would say to them, let's go home. And I have been known to actually leave my shopping trolley and just say, let's go home. Not because of their behavior, but because the energy became too fragmented for me. And I would just go. My children never argued if I said, time to go home. And they knew, oh, mum's had enough, you know. And I just had compassion for this beautiful lady because she really was so frazzled. And it made me think about what I'm talking about today. That before you go out anywhere, you know, yes, we all have tasks to perform and we all have things that need doing because life is very demanding as far as, you know, the maintenance of life. But make it easier on yourself by having a look and seeing how can I do what I have to do, what needs to be done, with a different intent, with a different state of mind, being kinder to me, and therefore kinder to everyone else. You know, consider that before any action you take. And life will really become much more harmonious and much more joyful and pleasant and much more doable as well. So focused intent. And of course, when I went to pick a card, guess what? Of course, I picked the goddess Diana, focused intent. I think that's really quite amusing. Think about what you desire. And I don't mean what you desire as far as, you know, I want a car, I want a house, I want a lover. No, think about every little thing you desire. I desire to do my weekend shopping, right? I desire to go to work. Think about every little thing that you are about to do, that you want to do, that you wish to do, that maybe you think you have to do. And set your sights high. Don't expect the low denominator, okay? Always set your sights high. I'm always saying ask for the highest possibility. And what I mean by that is the highest vibrational frequency. So if you find yourself getting trapped into people talking about, did you hear? Oh, you know, there was a guy who shot his wife and his dad. Leave. Because it's a low vibrational frequency. We are electromagnetic beings. When you puddle around in the low vibrational frequency of drama and excitement, then you can have not what you would think you desire, which is a high vibrational frequency of love and goodies, okay? You can't. It just doesn't work. So, Diana is saying, set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. So when you intend something, look for what would you like to experience. When you go to the supermarket, what would you like to experience? Well, I always like to experience ease and grace. I am not a great shopper. So I have my list. I know exactly what I want. I asked my team, the powers that be, to tell me where things are, and I go there and it's there and away I go. And if it's not there, I go home. I'll try another day. The minute that I feel my energy drop to anything lower than where I choose to be, I go home. It's my sanctuary. I don't push myself through low vibration. I elevate myself through the way that I see things, through the way that I have a mindset. However, if I'm in a really fragmented state, or the energy around me is in a fragmented state, I leave. Mind you, being on the train the other day, I couldn't leave. It was kind of moving fast. So what do then? I take my mind to appreciate. What do I appreciate? And I look around and I go, each and every one of these people that I'm looking at are just different vibrational frequency sparks of consciousness in human form. And then I look at everybody with interest and I go, isn't that an interesting expression of consciousness? And isn't that an interesting expression of consciousness? And it becomes quite a game, actually. I don't do it with judgment. I just do it with interest. So you can always find a way to change the status quo, to lift your energy vibration higher. If you want to know more about energy vibrations and how I work with that, go to my website. Definitely go to my and address my book. And within that book, I have actually a spiral of frequency, which teaches you exactly where to go to have the higher vibrations. Go to my website. There's lots of wonderful things there for you. And if you would like a private session with me, then just contact me through there. And any of my other work, I would love to be of service to you. And give yourself a gift. Be present. Do everything with conscious intent. And then see the difference. And I would love to hear from you. So leave me a comment and let me know. And another thing I'd really like you to do is I'd like you to tick the subscription box down there. And there's a little bell beside it. And if you tick that, you'll be notified when I next put out a video. And lastly, but not, whatever that saying is, see, now I've just lost my words. But I really would like to remind you that you are magnificent. You are beautiful. You are a magnificent expression of the all that is. So love it with intent. And have a beautiful experience of you. See you next time. Namaste.